Hi, and welcome to the Community InRoads show, spotlighting the many treasures found in Greater Lawrence and Haverhill. Community InRoads is an organization that strengthens local nonprofits by providing them with free professional assistance in order to help them run their organizations effectively. Through a network of strong nonprofits, we believe the men, women, and youth of the community will have access to the resources they need to lead full, healthy lives. My name is Joan Kulash, and I'll be your host today. With me are our special guests from the nonprofit L'Arche Boston North, Jennifer Matthews, Michael Richard, and Philip Godbout. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to finally get you on the show. We've been working at trying to find a good date.
You got us.
So Jennifer Matthews is the executive director of the organization that we're going to be speaking about today for most of the time. But as usual, we always have to talk about us first, Community InRoads. So as I was mentioning, Community InRoads works with the nonprofits in the community to make them stronger, and we provide them with pro bono, white-collar professional help in order to do that. So the pro bono thing, everybody goes, well, how do you do that? So Jen, I'm going to just hand it over to you to just give an example, a live example of how we work with L'Arche with a volunteer, a professional volunteer to help you.
Well, thanks for having us. Community InRoads has been a tremendous gift to our community. We're a small community, and so any support we can get from the greater community is always welcomed, and especially through Community InRoads. You've helped us with a couple of different projects. One being, most notably, is revising our handbook, which seems like such a small and, but it's a huge task. It's a huge undertaking, and it was something that I was a bit nervous about doing, and but then talking with you and talking to Elizabeth, it was clear that you had the resources that could help us in this situation, resources that we didn't have. So, and that was Adam Hamill, who's on your board, and is just phenomenal. I mean, the caliber of professionalism, and just not with him, but with all the members of your board. It's just been really amazing. So that's been really great working with Adam. I've really enjoyed that whole process. He's been so generous with his time, and we're really grateful. And then we were also working with you guys with the board community inclusion. So where the recruits from Community InRoads that were handpicked, and the different organizations that seemed to be handpicked as well, and we were so lucky to be part of that batch, to be a part of this program. And what's amazing, I think, about the program is that it's not just the opportunity to grow our board. It's the opportunity to go along the journey. And for me as a new executive director, that was really meaningful, to be a part of the same programs and formations.
We got to let it all out today.
That's okay.
That's the greatest coffee that one could possibly find, right?
This is L'Arche.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be a part of that program and to have that opportunity for us, we've met some amazing people. All of the recruits, just their background, their experience, and the desire to help out in the community is really wonderful. So I'm excited that I was able to be a part of it as an organization. I myself found so much great information, whether it's board governance or finance. It was all information that was so helpful to me in my journey as a new executive director. So.
That's great, and we've been working with you it's only been about a year since Haverhill has come on board with us. And so Adam Hamill, as you were mentioning, is a lawyer from McLean Middleton, and that is his expertise is employee relations. So busy guy, but he really connected with your mission, which to him just really excited him. And even though he's busy, this was something that meant a lot to him, to be able to provide his professional expertise. So that along with the cultural inclusion program that you were talking about will, I think we've got at least one good board member and a few others, potential board members for you from the community that I think will be able to add even more gusto to the strategic direction that you folks are going, and ultimately will be helping to keep your organization even more robust than it is right now. And that's the whole idea, so that it can better serve the people in the community. And we'll be talking a little bit to Phil in a little bit. You've already been insinuating some of your thoughts about this. I know you may think we have a lot of hot air on this show,
Yes.
but we're going to illustrate it as well. So, Jen, why don't you talk a little bit about the program just overall, the overarching goal, and what you're doing in the community, and why it is such an important service.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So L'Arche began about 55 years ago in Trolly, France, and L'Arche was started by a gentleman named Jean Vanier. And how it began was simple. It's simple, and I mean it's continued on that path of simplicity. But it started with inviting two men into his home to share his life and to be in relationship with these two men. And that kind of that movement, it sparked a movement. He sparked a movement at the time. Two men, yeah, Jean Vanier.
Right?
He took two
right
men,
over here, right?
Two men from the institution in Trolly home to his house to share their lives together. And there's communities in 150 communities in 37 countries in the world.
Wow.
So L'Arche is a movement. It exists as a sign of peace and as a sign of hope. And especially in countries and in places where there's not a lot of that. There's not a lot of peace and there's not a lot of hope. They don't have a lot of support. This is the community in Syria. And we all know that Syria is not a place right now that is settled. And so to have a L'Arche community living there and being supported by the people, it's pretty profound.
Yeah.
So yeah, L'Arche exists as
and
a sign of hope.
in the previous photo, did I see somebody who looked familiar before?
Mother Teresa, yes. So we have a community in Calcutta, India, and it's right next door to Mother Teresa's community. And so our L'Arche community and Mother Teresa's community really had a joint mission to serve the people of that area, whether it be the children or the adults, people who, the poor, people with disabilities. So it's really beautiful.
God,
and even after her passing, it's continued, and that relationship that L'Arche has with her community is very strong.
Yeah.
In an area where it has to be, where people really rely on the services that they can get through the organizations.
You were telling me a little bit earlier, and you may be speaking about it later, so I won't, was where people will leave some of their children at the doorstep.
Yeah.
So maybe later you'll, or whenever.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's
L'Arche,
quite a story.
It's pretty amazing to think that we're very fortunate to live in the United States and to have the support that we have as a community that serves people with disabilities, but other countries don't have those resources. And for families, especially in countries that are developing and are very poor, they don't have the resources to care for family members, especially family members who have disabilities. And so they do what they think is the best thing to do, is to bring them to L'Arche or to bring them to Mother Teresa's community and know that they'll be cared for, but know that they can't do that themselves. So, and L'Arche does. L'Arche does. It exists to care for everybody and be a community.
Absolutely. That is a profound statement. And so did you want to go over some of these other photos, or is that...
Sure. I mean, another really wonderful place that L'Arche exists, this is our beginning community, but L'Arche, we have a community in Palestine. And so we have a community that is in Palestine, and it's amazing because we all know all the struggles that happen in Palestine, and yet L'Arche is there. It's a sign of hope. It's a sign of peace. It's a sign of what we can do if we come together and if we love each other. So this is a founding community photo. So these are our founding members, and you'll notice
anybody we
know a little bit older. That's Phil.
To the far left is Phil.
That's Phil.
Do you recognize that man?
That's me.
That's you.
Let me take a look at this.
That's Donald. And who else?
Carol.
Carol. Yep.
Buckley.
Elizabeth Buckley. She was
This is Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Buckley was our
Debbie
founding community
Essler.
leader.
Yep.
That's Debbie Essler, and that's Fran. And these are the founding members of L'Arche. In fact, Fran was a very good friend, but wasn't part of the founding. It was the four with Elizabeth who founded our community in 1983.
Yeah.
So we're going to be celebrating 35 years in September.
Wow.
Yep. And then Fran was a friend who knew Donald through work and would spend a lot of time around L'Arche, like come for dinner, come for the weekend, and come to stay. So she ended up joining our community a few years later, but she was a friend of L'Arche before she became a core member.
So how old is Phil there?
Phil,
25
years old. This is our community, another picture of it. So we've grown quite a bit from our founding and from our original days. And I think you'll see our friend Phil at the bottom. There you are.
Holding those two ladies? Is that Phil? Is that Phil?
Yeah, that's Phil.
That's beautiful.
So our community has grown, but our founding core members are still with us.
And so I see somebody else who looks kind of familiar.
Yeah, a lot
right in the center there.
A lot younger. I came to community.
You look exactly the same.
Oh, well, that's very generous of you.
No, seriously.
I came to community in 2006, so I've been with L'Arche for 12 years.
Yeah, and is Mark and Mike? Are you in that picture?
This is before my time.
Well, this guy kind of looks a little like you, though, doesn't he?
That's a compliment.
Yeah. To him, yes.
And actually, so that gentleman, he was with L'Arche, and then he went on to go to L'Arche in Chicago.
Yes. He does TED
so
Talks
now he does
Oh,
TED
does
Talks.
he?
Like
Does he really?
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Oh,
His
we've
name
gotta
is
watch
Luca. So, but he's with our L'Arche community in Chicago. So L'Arche is kind of a place where people come and they might go on to different communities and or stay, or it's a really wonderful place.
Absolutely wonderful. Do we have any others right now? Yeah.
So I think what's really important about L'Arche, and we can talk a little bit more about it, and you'll see it in Phil's story, is that L'Arche is a place where people have amazing opportunities to have rich lives, and all of us should have such great lives that we get to travel and we get to build these relationships that are much deeper than friendships. They're mutually transformative. They're relationships that last forever, for a lifetime. And so these are just some pictures of our community and us traveling, and we love to travel. So
I mean, just looking at just the absolute joy in everybody's faces. I mean, these aren't, when people say, "Can we take a picture?" and you go,
yeah,
like this.
Right.
No, but this is like coming right from the heart, just joy of life.
Joy is a
and being
reoccurring
together.
theme in L'Arche.
Yeah.
You can't have L'Arche without joy.
Yep.
Even folks who have some limitations, we try to make sure that people have the opportunities that make life worth living.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gosh.
Yeah. We had a tie-dye party, and so we're all wearing tie-dye shirts.
Is this part of that?
Yeah, we have a lot of barbecues and cookouts
and root beer.
We like to get. I don't know if that was, but
it's a real thing.
We like to get together. In the summer, nothing's better than beer and a hot dog.
Oh,
so,
God, yeah.
Yeah. But we like to be together. This is a picture of a group of folks who went on a road trip. So last year we had a group of assistants and core members who went on a road trip across the country. They were gone for a whole month. And it was a phenomenal experience. Cross-country road trip. And what was really amazing is that you have individuals, core members, who had maybe never left Massachusetts before, and who were aging. And this was something that they got to see all the things that they had heard and read about or saw on TV, but they actually got to do them and
so
experience
here we are
them.
in Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, yep. Yeah, and this was in Seattle at the fish market.
And somebody's really loving it.
Woody, that's my favorite picture of him. But all of us, just to have these experiences and to have a life where this is possible. That's what L'Arche does. Yeah.
What is this, halibut cheeks? I never heard of that.
I never saw that either. I guess you got to go to Seattle to find out.
Yes, I guess.
Or you can ask Woody about it.
Yeah. Yeah, happy smiles, except for this one over here. That fish is.
Oh, it's when you get to know Woody, that's like it's a trademark. It's wonderful.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
wonderful.
It's pretty amazing the opportunities and the experiences that we have. But I think what's more amazing is the relationships. So I think L'Arche is built on transformative relationships with one another, and sharing of our gifts, and being a sign of hope to the greater community. That's what we try to do every day. It's pretty simple. It's nothing extraordinary, but I would say when you come inside our home, when you come inside our community, it has this effect that is pretty pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, and when you say transformative, it's very clear that it's not just transforming the lives of your core members, but it's transforming the lives of anybody who walks into your home. And it is indeed that. It is a home. It's a loving home.
It's definitely mutual. The transformation is mutual. It's realizing that we belong somewhere. L'Arche is about belonging, and once you do that and see the gifts that you have, but also that everybody else in community has, it's pretty wonderful.
And you know, just one of the individuals who maybe, or actually just got brought onto your board, Esther Albuquerque, through our cultural inclusion program, went to dinner, right? And I asked her how it went, and it was just this joyous, not this joyous, but the joyous smile on her face, and she just closed her eyes and she said, "Joan, it's like this is where I belong." She really wants to be working with you at so many different levels and immersing herself in, not only at the board level, but at the level where there's that community and family that you're providing.
It's really important to us that whether you're a volunteer, you're involved with us in any capacity, that you come for dinner and you spend time in community, because that's really what will make the difference, and for both. And I think we have an amazing board, and I'm so excited about the opportunities to grow our board with members from the cultural inclusion. Like, it's an amazing opportunity for us, but also to grow our family, to grow our community by not just Esther, but Esther's family will be involved.
That's right.
It's really, it's inclusive of everybody.
And Adam and I
coming for dinner.
Are coming for dinner too. It's going to be one of these guests who's coming
for dinner. You got to come for dinner, yeah.
Well, you know, we are. We're just trying to get a date, but I'm really looking forward to it. So before we go on to Mike, did you have anything that you wanted to say, or more at this point, because we're going to be coming back to you in a little bit?
No, I think I've talked enough.
You think you've talked enough, do you? All right. Well, we're going to come back to you anyhow. Mike, what brings you into to L'Arche? How did you get involved, and what's your role?
Well, first off, thank you very much for having us on here, Joan. This is awesome. And I'm the program coordinator with L'Arche Boston North. I've been involved with the organization for about 5 years now, and they have flown by pretty quickly. Something you said is really sticking with me about the... What's that? On the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
On
the beach? Yeah, brother. I bet they did out in Seattle. But yes, to your point, you said something about transformational experiences for all people who get involved or are touched by L'Arche.
Yep.
And that hits my experience really well. I came to L'Arche kind of unexpectedly. I didn't know what it was about. It was a volunteer opportunity for me, and before I knew it, I was living in a house with Phil Godbout during 3 of those 35 years that he's been a founding core member of our organization. And I don't know how to put it without getting like emotional about it, but
you can get emotional.
Yeah. Just to try and stay on point. But I lived with Phil for 3 years, and Phil, I never felt judged by Phil. I always felt loved and accepted for who I was and celebrated just as a person. There's no like magical formula about L'Arche. It's just people living together, trying to be in genuine relationship with one another. And it's the type of thing that you start to get a little bit of a snippet of by coming to dinner. So we look forward to having you out. And Phil, we're going to talk about you for a minute. Is that okay? Yeah, I think we're ready. All right, so this is Phil Godbout. He is a founding core member of our organization, coming to L'Arche in 1983, and he's the beloved only son of Phil Sr. and Ruth Godbout of Topsfield, Massachusetts. And I think we've...
Do we have a picture of Phil?
I think we have some photos, that we might want to show.
Here's the first one.
Oh,
so
who's that? There you go.
There's a good-looking guy in a pea coat.
But yeah.
And that's your dad.
Who is this? Dad?
Yeah.
So, at the Topsfield Fair?
Yeah.
So Phil's dad was the fire chief in Topsfield in the late 60s, and he was a beloved member of the town. Everybody knew him, as everybody knows Phil now. Whenever we go to Topsfield, we're always stopped by people randomly who know who Phil Jr. is, especially at the Topsfield Fair. So here, Who's this?
That's me.
This is you again?
There's the other founding core member, Donald.
Okay.
So Donald and Phil have been very good friends for a very long time, and Donald refers to Phil exclusively as his brother at this point. So it's a very close relationship, and yeah, they've loved each other for a very long time.
Been here for 35
And
years.
so Donald is still in the
Yes.
program as
Yes.
well? Wonderful.
Who's that?
What?
Phil.
Who is this, Phil?
That's me.
Again?
And Sister Pat?
Sister Pat.
So Sister
Yeah.
Pat Murphy is the founding assistant of our community. So it's the
Okay.
first 4 core members, and Sister Pat plus Elizabeth Buckley, our community leader. And Sister Pat is still a very close friend
that is
of our organization.
beautiful. I
Beautiful relationship.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
Phil,
That's me.
right? But now, if that isn't a picture of love, I don't know what is. I mean, that is just so genuine. That's not posed.
Yep, it's authentic.
And here they are from a couple of years ago.
Lovely.
Wow.
Wow.
Phil's been the Santa Claus of our community for many decades.
And who is this lady?
That
That
was
was
Sister
Sister Pat
Pat.
from a
that's
couple of
Sister
years
Pat.
ago.
Sister
Yeah.
Pat.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So who's that, Phil?
Right.
That's you.
Is that Chicky?
Is that Chicky?
Me.
Chicky,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
Chicky just retired from the Topsfield Fire Department, and he's got a retirement party in the Topsfield Square in May. And the surprise special guest star will be Phil arriving in a fire truck.
Oh, no
Although I hope Chicky's
kidding.
not going to see this, but
Oh,
yes.
gosh, yeah, I hope not, too. Only kidding, Chicky. That was a joke.
That's his family. That's his other family. That's his community.
That's us presenting
see.
some large plaques
see.
to the fire department that they still have on the wall there. Who's that?
That's me.
That's you, man. It's a lot of you,
this
that's
is
for
you?
sure.
That's Phil.
Oh, that's you. Okay, I was
Yeah.
wondering why we're looking at the backside of somebody.
Every time they get new uniforms or new gear,
Got it.
they order an extra for Phil.
Yes.
Okay.
So Phil gets
My
all
Lord.
of the.
Yes.
Wow.
Phil's closet is full of Topsfield gear, for sure.
We're gonna-
Phil, what's going on? I bet, is he a good dancer? I bet he is.
Who are you with?
I love it.
Hannah Walker?
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's going on here? What is this? What's the,
Up in Salisbury, actually, at the wharf there thing.
okay, and
dancing
they're
a little
just
bit.
spontaneously dancing?
Yeah, and what's really cool about Hannah is that she's a volunteer who came from England some years ago, and we're very lucky to be an international organization and to attract people from all over the world who want to come and just experience l'Arche in Boston North community.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's me.
And here's the one. Who's that? So I was very lucky to be able to join Philip on a trip to France a couple of years ago.
Wow.
To visit the original community in Trolly.
No
And
kidding.
we got to meet the man himself, Mr. Jean Vanier.
Wow. You're better looking than that other guy was. Look at him.
I look like
Yeah, he looks like a movie star. And
Who's
what's
there? Is that Joe Kim?
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's the genuine article.
Oh,
He's
my,
just a
that
decent
That's the
man.
best picture.
priceless.
Yep. Best picture.
Do you know, what is this? What's this building here?
Wow.
Wow.
That's all you need to know about
You
it.
were there.
Exactly. Exactly.
One of his friends, Roxy.
Another volunteer who
Who's
came
that?
to our organization.
Right here.
And
Roxy?
Roxy.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was with us for a
And
year.
Roxy was
She was a
part of
volunteer
it.
from Germany, and
Okay.
she was with us for a year. And then when
this
Phil
is
went to
Trolley.
France, he was able to go visit his friends in Germany as
Oh,
well.
that is
So-
wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Who's that?
Who are you with?
Yeah.
Aunt Jo was turning 109 this year, actually. She lives in
You're
Danvers. We're going to be
kidding.
visiting her this Saturday.
109?
Yeah, she's one of the oldest people in Massachusetts. So she's been getting interviewed a lot
Wow.
recently. Yeah.
I thought I was going to top you because my dad is 103
Wow.
and totally,
Wow,
but she
that
looks
is
like
incredible.
she's
Got it.
totally got it. That gives me great hope that I'm going to have him
okay.
for a lot longer time. That's wonderful. What's going on here?
This is Phil tending to our garden at Assisi House. Phil, what are you doing there? That's you, man. That's
Yeah.
that was one of my first projects as a volunteer. It did not come together as well as it could have.
And
but,
what happened? Oh, but maybe we shouldn't talk about that. Did somebody get sprayed in the wrong way? Or?
Oh, Phil starts lots of water fights. Yes,
Does he?
yes, he does. Yes, he does. Phil, I'm sure that hose was quickly turned on somebody.
Was it?
I'm sure, yes. Phil likes to lift weights.
Can you back up with this this exercise here? Can we see that again?
This is the YMCA.
Where is that? In
Haverhill.
In Haverhill?
Yes.
Okay.
We go to the Y.
Yep.
Quite a bit.
And so I love the pumping of the iron because I'm starting to do that too. I may get a little assistance with. And so now I didn't realize we've got some talent here that
So
goes.
Phil is a bit hard of hearing, but he loves music, and
Yep.
so it was important to be able to get Phil involved with an instrument where he can feel the music as much as hear it.
Yeah.
And so Phil
Is loving
likes
it.
drumming.
Look at
Phil,
that.
do you still like to drum? Good stuff, brother.
And this is Phil's new home. So
my
about
Lord, this is
in
beautiful.
August 2016, we opened our first fully accessible home. It took us over 5 years to plan and build this house. It took a lot of resources.
With Annika?
With Annika, you live
That's
with
right.
Annika. Yeah, so Phil lives there with 6 other people, and this was our dream, to be able to provide for our core members as they age, so that Phil will always have a home at L'Arche.
That is.
And we were
so
able to do
their
that.
family
Yep,
knows
forever.
that
Yeah.
somebody who they love so dearly will always be well
Forever.
taken care of.
Exactly. And,
With people like you, Mike, too. I mean, who's living with him, and Jen, and just that is wonderful. That peace of mind and happiness.
It's our new home, and it's actually named Pat House after Sister Pat,
Yes.
who you saw so affectionately in
yeah.
those first pictures with Phil. The core members always name our homes when we buy a new home or move, and so the core members wanted Pat House, and so that's
That
Pat
is
House.
wonderful.
So Phil lives at Pat House.
Wonderful. Is that the last picture that we have here?
I
of
think
that? I
so.
think it is,
I
right?
think of the house. I think we also have our hummus.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
that. So I heard about this kind of awesome project that you were doing, the hummus project, that I would love to hear about. What is a hummus project?
Our hummus project.
It's not like people humming, right?
No, we're
okay.
pretty good at that too. Right, Phil?
You didn't think that was so funny, did you, Phil? All right. What can I say?
So homemade hummus was born last year. We decided to join our local farmers market. We have a lot of talent in our community. A lot of great cooks. You'll experience that when you go for dinner.
Yes,
A lot
indeed.
of great cooks, a lot of talent, and we wanted to connect more with the greater community, not just as an organization for people with disabilities, but just as fellow community members. And so we thought, what gifts do we have? And food is one of our major gifts. And Emma is one of our assistants in the middle. She's wonderful at making hummus and coming up with all different creations and variations. And so we said, let's give this thing a try. And our board fully supported it. Lots of support from community, core members involved. And we did the farmers market every Saturday during the summer. It was amazing. We met so many wonderful
I
people.
bet.
Just the connections that we made, and that's what L'Arche is about making connections.
Yeah.
It was great to be able to be present to the community and to welcome people, and it was a vehicle for inviting people into our home, come for dinner, join us for celebration, get to know more about L'Arche. And it served its purpose, and it was so good. So we've generated some buzz in our community. Our hummus became pretty popular. And I think we're going to be making another showing at the farmers market.
Wonderful.
I think so. I mean, this is hot off the press, Joan. So it's an exclusive. You're getting it first.
Good. Yeah, that's good. So is it on the weekend? When
It's on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
The Haverhill Farmers Market is on Saturdays. It's on Bailey Boulevard in Haverhill, and it's between, I want to say, is it 9 to 1?
Yeah.
It's 9 to 1, I think. On Saturdays in the
Saturdays, 9
summer.
to 1. Okay.
It's wonderful, and the other vendors there just welcomed us with open arms. It's like we'd been a part of the farmers market since at the beginning. It's been great.
That sounds like something to look forward to. I'm definitely going there and having a little bit of hummus
Pretty
myself.
good. Well, when you
Yeah.
come to the house,
I'm
make
gonna
sure you have some.
And maybe we can hum at the same time.
Maybe you
We should
could.
have a hummus song.
Hum
or
with
something. So I'm wondering, are there any things that you want to tell the audience right now who's watching about upcoming events that may be coming up besides the Hum and Hummus? Anything like fundraisers, or if people wanted to donate money or donate their time?
Absolutely.
What should we know about?
What should you know? Well, I would say this is a more recent picture of our community. It's pretty great. But I would say the biggest thing is to come and see. Come and see L'Arche. It's hard to,
Yeah.
that's you. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain L'Arche. We ask for people to come and see, join us for a meal, come for a celebration. Come see us at the farmer's market, have some hummus and have a conversation. We are having our 35th anniversary celebration, gearing up for that. So we're all getting pretty excited. 35 years with our original founding core members, including Phil.
Wow.
So it's quite a celebration for us, and that'll be on Friday, September 21st at the Haverhill Country Club.
So we have a little bit of time to get people to sign up for that, right?
Yes.
But first step is come and see L'Arche.
Come and see L'Arche. Check
how
out
would
our
people tell us a little bit about it? I think, do we have the website that we can put up for people to see, or maybe not, maybe? So we're putting the website up, I think, in another place for people to see, and they contact Jennifer Matthews.
Yeah, you can go to our website, check us out on Facebook, L'Arche Boston North. L'ArcheBostonNorth.org is our website. So check us out. We'll have information about our anniversary. There's ways to contact us. You can contact me and set up an opportunity to come and join us for dinner. But come and see L'Arche.
Wonderful. And if anybody wants to come with me to have dinner at L'Arche, let me know before we set up the time. Thank you all for joining us today. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Community InRoads, please contact me, Joan Kulash, 978-604-8803, right? So looking forward to next month when we bring you another wonderful nonprofit in the Lawrence, Haverhill area. Thank you.